The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Jesse Holly, Kurt Daniels, and Nate Newton.
Happy Hump Day! What's going on? Happy Hump Day. We are bringing to you live on this day, middle of the week, man. We grooving through this thing. That's a live look of the Tostitos Championship Plaza outside in front of the Ford Center. The Christmas spirit is in the air out there. They're building this thing up. We got the lights and stuff, all that kind of stuff showing. Yeah. It's still cold outside, so you don't have to worry about nothing else. It ain't Minnesota cold, but it's cold enough. Outside, you need a little hat, a little scarf on, or something like that. You got your tall socks on, Nate?
No, not today, man. I put on some jeans, man, and
take your bag off, stay a while.
Yeah, man. Like, relax, brother. Sit down. You got somewhere to go.
Man. Yeah, man.
Your hemorrhoids flaring up or something?
I got this weight on. I got this weight on my back.
Jesus,
man. I got this weight on my back.
Well, hold on to it, man. We'll get it off, man. He is
weight on my back.
He is the weight on his back. Nathaniel Newton. That's Kurt Daniels. I am Jesse Holly.
He's basically said he's going to carry the show.
Oh, you're fine.
No, it's another weight I got on my back. I'm gonna reel it later on.
Together, we are hanging with the boy, the sports talk equivalent of Bell. People, say it with me, feel us when we speak. This segment is brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Gentlemen, we are done with Green Bay, and we are moving on to another NFC. What is this? NFC West? North. NFC North. Yeah, North. You're right. NFC North football team in the middle of the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings this Sunday up in Minnesota. Cowboys offense today. Minnesota's defense today. Nate, do you want to get whatever on your back off early?
Yeah.
You want to get it off early?
Yeah.
How you want to do this, brother? I don't know. We don't know what he has on his
I got
bag.
his weight on my back, man.
We don't know any of this. This is so this kind of bring you guys behind closed doors. When we get in here, we don't know from day to day what Nate is going to show up.
No, man.
And there's a different Nate. Like, you're pretty much going to know with me. I'm going to be the upbeat, energetic person. Kurt's going to be Kurt. Chris is going to be Chris. It's Nate who is the wild card. We don't quite know what we're going to get from day to day. And then you don't really want to piss Nate off.
No, man, don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an other side that a lot of y'all don't know about Nate. If he gets a little, that
I get stuck on things.
If he get a little gooch irritation, he can be a grumpy old man. So we don't know what we gonna get from Nate from day to day. But brother, you got weight on your back. I want you to get it off.
I'm gonna keep this weight on my back, man. I gotta keep it, man.
That ain't healthy.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
That ain't healthy, man. Next thing you know, you have a hernia, and then you be out. You be out for a couple weeks.
I got like 6 teams run game on my back, and I don't want this to fall on the Cowboys defense. So I'm gonna hold on to it so we can win these games.
Oh, man, as we get ready to break down this game, Nate has talked about it. Everyone has talked about it. Everyone knows about it. The Cowboys, well, I shouldn't go there because that's tomorrow. Let's stay on task.
That's right.
Let me stay on task.
Stay on task.
Let me stay on task. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping, though.
Okay.
The Cowboys have signed a veteran. Breaking news. The Cowboys have signed a veteran wide receiver who used to play for the Cleveland Browns.
Just twist that knife a little more.
You want to take a guess who it is? He used to play for the Browns. Veteran wide receiver.
The dude, he played at LSU. Played with Odell Beckham.
He played with Odell Beckham?
Yeah, at LSU.
No, Landry. No.
It ain't Landry?
No.
Well, I don't need to know the rest.
Landry's still on the team. He's still the Saints. We can't sign him until he gets cut. We should have signed him in the offseason, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys signed Callaway. They also signed Tack McKinley, and they signed an offensive lineman to their practice squad. So you did not get yet. Let me preface by saying yet. What's the Callaway's first name, Kurt?
Antonio
Callaway. And he has about, I think, like 600-700 yards in his career. He's a decent player, but he has always been kind of like Takk McKinley too, a little bit of a head case. So it's always like those dudes who have talent, but has always kind of been in the mix of not quite get out of the coach's doghouse. So the Cowboys, go ahead.
4th round pick.
Well, yeah, Cowboys brought him in, Takk McKinley in. They brought another offensive lineman and signed them to the practice squad. So there is, I guess, the need that you had at receiver because everyone was talking about, man, Washington is on his way back. That's going to change the fortune of our offensive future, whatever. And Takk McKinley is kind of almost in that same mode as maybe some more, and we talked about this a little bit. This goes back to Takk McKinley was in Atlanta with Dan Quinn. But it's also bringing another guy in here because we talked about those guys, and Micah talked about it. Jaron Kearse has come out and talked about it. Some of these guys doing this kind of YOLO thing, doing their own thing, freestyling, freewheeling their way around the defensive side of the ball. And sometimes when you bring a guy in that has a little bit of pedigree, it might get guys to kind of shape up. It might get guys to be like, oh, if I don't get right, this dude might take my spot. He's Dan
they really
Quinn
feel a
likes
threat?
him. Do I feel a threat?
No, would they really feel threatened by these guys?
Yeah, I mean, because Takk McKinley was a first-round pick, so there's pedigree there, and he has a long history with Dan Quinn. It's another guy who comes in and kind of knows Dan Quinn's scheme and knows how he kind of run stuff. So if you got guys that are not hims, right? There's only a few hims, maybe one him on this defense. If you got guys who are kind of willy-nilly doing their own thing, you can go, you know what? Like I said before, that pond changed a lot of minds. Sit a few folks down defensively, maybe add a guy like Takk McKinley, and it may not work. He may be here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But maybe it's that, bring a guy in to get the other guy's attention and be like, oh, let me do what I have to do because there's another guy in the building that could potentially, if given the opportunity, take my spot.
Interesting.
Hey, Big Jazz, you rolling, boy.
All right.
Rolling.
So let's
it always makes me wonder, though. I mean, I know theoretically, yes, you should bench a guy if he's not doing his job. But then, you got your 3rd or 4th string guy out there. Are you actually going to be any better?
Go ahead.
I'm with you, man. In today's NFL where the money makes it so different, so you may not be $2 million better, but you're getting paid $2 million more. So, you know what I'm saying?
But, I think go ahead. I'm sorry.
But there's enough depth on this team. And where we're hurting at is in the defensive line. They're not performing for some reason. And, so that's where we're hurting at. I hear a few guys say, well, our secondary is not coming up tackling. But when you're averaging 4 and 5 yards a rush, by the time the secondary do turn to react, you up on them. So I just believe this can be easily fixed if our guys up front from end to end, the whole defensive line, and that deep rotation do their job. We have no problems. And I ain't talking about getting it down to 90 yards, 105. Teams survive in this league with about 110, 15, 20 yards rushing. As long as you try to keep that average down, around 4 or less, But the way we've been giving it up, wow. Well, go ahead on, Jess. Go ahead on, man.
No,
you was rocking, baby.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cowboys' offense. And you most likely will have Zeke back this week.
Okay, you got Zeke back.
I don't. And the thing is like the running game has not been a disaster. The running game hasn't been to where it's like we miss Ezekiel Elliott. They've been able to 4.8 yards a carry.
Yeah,
it's almost 5. You have not dropped off the face of this earth being able to run the football.
Pass blocking ain't been bad.
It's been okay.
Yeah.
It's been okay. The pass blocking, and there was 2 things that I wanted to get to.
Running back. situation.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. There was two things that I wanted to talk about when it came to the offense that I noticed. One is we talk about not necessarily sacks, but pressures. Okay. In the National Football League, you're considered by the numbers, analytics. Again, I went to public high school and I went to a public university. I'm not that smart. So I rely on a lot of other people who are able to break. Hey,
he agreed with you.
I'm joking.
He agreed. No, there you go, Chris. You agreed with him. He said it. You just agreed with him.
But the league considers if you're above 31% of giving up pressures in the National Football League, that's bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They consider that bad. The Cowboys are at 29.9.
Mm.
So they're on that fringe of pressures given up with their offensive line. And it may not always lead to sacks, but that pressure alone gets you to have so many errant throws. It gets you off maybe deeper down the field reads. In the last game, Dak only passed the ball, I think it was like 6.8 yards per throw in that game. And even though CeeDee Lamb had a great game, when it averaged out, he wasn't getting the ball downfield for chunk plays.
Yeah.
And the more time that you don't get chunk plays, 15-plus yard chunk plays, is the more you have to matriculate the ball down the field in your passing game, the more you lead to incompletes, interceptions, holdings, for bad things to happen to you. So the Cowboys have to be better on eliminating some of the pressures that they've been getting from their offensive line, also making sure that the communication is right with the receivers and what they're calling and being able to deliver, and also on Dak's shoulders, and it ain't all on Dak, but he has to be better. Throwing the ball 46 times, you were, I think like at 50% or somewhere like hovering around 50% in a game. That ain't a good completion percentage.
Right.
You got to be better in there. And then the other one I want to talk about that is a glaring thing that we sometimes hit on, we sometimes don't hit on, is the Cowboys on third down.
Yeah.
They are one of the worst football teams in all of football on converting on third downs. Last game, they were 5 of 15.
15, Robin.
On third down.
Thank you, Jesse. I am
of that,
tired of talking about it.
A lot of that has to do with what you do on first down. But if you continue to find yourself in these situations on third down that you cannot convert, the first two possessions of the game against the Green Bay Packers, 3 and out.
Go back to the game before that, 3 and out. Go back to the game before that, almost 3 and out. It'll be 5 and out. This is. Go ahead on, Jess.
No, I was going to say those are the things when I turn on the film and I look at the Cowboys and they aren't glaring things. They're still able to run the football. Again, they're still able to, when they kind of get things going, be able to pass the football. They don't have the weapons that you think they have offensively at the receiver position. Michael Gallup can't create separation. CeeDee Lamb can't create separation. Anything past 7 to 8 yards, their tight ends can't create separation. They're one of the poorest teams in the National Football League in creating separation. Kurt, you said it. Dak throws into tight covers 22.8% of the time, the third highest mark. Those things, when you start looking at it, when you get into tight games, when you get into games like Nate always talk about with equal to or greater talent that you have to face, if you cannot improve on certain areas like that, you find yourself in these tight ball games.
Yeah.
And when this trend continues, you find yourself on the losing end of those type of ball games because
hold on, Jet. Hold on.
Oh.
Now you added third downs to the weight.
Oh, is it getting heavy? It's getting heavy? I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry. But those are just some of the things that I see when I'm looking at the Cowboys, and the question will always remain is, can they fix them? Can they improve them?
Yeah, how do they? I mean, we've been talking about this, seems like, for so long. How do they? Why aren't they fixing it? It's easy for us to say, but why?
Yeah.
What's the problem? Is it execution? Is it play calling? Is it all of the above, I guess?
I'm going to tell you something, man. It comes a point, and if you respect your coaches and you are doing, and I'm talking about us from this side of the game. I'm not talking about I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm saying us. I was just talking to one of the guys in the back, and I was telling them how I like that we're playing the young guys. And even if we fall short, we will not go into next year with the young guy mentality. We'll have a bunch of guys that are 2 and 3 years. Now they're truly war-tested veterans, and I can deal with that, and I'm going to deal with that. But they got to get better, man. They just got to take as individuals. They got to look at themselves. The left tackle. Okay, what did I do wrong? I played against some of the best, held my own. I played against some of the best and got tore up. You know, left guard, he's been in a while. Now he's like, okay, how do I improve? The center has improved, you know, but how do we get better as a group so we don't have that 22% pressures or that 30% pressure, 31% pressure, and either being close to it. It should be around 18 or 20. You know, how do we get better? Now you can grow as a team. So, but it's up to each individual. The D-line is nowhere in the world this week right here would I even think about rushing anybody. I'm serious. If I'm the two guys inside, Bohannon and Gallimore, the coach is going to be saying, hey, man, that was 3rd and 10. Why didn't you rush the passer? No, I was two-gapping, coach. I'm making sure not even a draw or a sniffle of a run is coming that way.
That's tomorrow.
But I'm just saying, how do we fix it? I just went through the offense and the defense, you know.
I got you.
I'm sorry.
That's all good.
Yeah, another weight. Thank you, heaven, Jeff. I don't want to sit down. I may not get up.
All right. Let us take our first break of the day. We'll get back and we'll talk a little bit more about this Viking defense, what problems they pose, what players that they have, and, you know, we're gonna be in a dogfight.
Yeah.
This is a dogfight of all dogfights, and I hope that we got the dogs.
And if you barking like, don't show up. We don't need you.
So, but if y'all barking like, stay right here with us. We'll be right back. Just hanging with the boys.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys.
Hey, tell us what just happened.
If y'all could just be in some of these commercial breaks and the things that go on, you got to understand, like, you know, Chris is in the back doing a lot of different things, and we appreciate everything that he does. But, you know, he sends us in. I send us out of break. He tells us when we come back, you know, he'll go ahead. And normally, normal people, when you count down,
30
30 seconds, 15, 10, and you have your countdown out there. I'm sitting here and we're waiting. Chris jumps on the mic. He goes, back in 17. 17? Like, who picked 17 as the countdown number when we're going to come back?
Sorry.
But it's all good, man. We love you.
Hilarious,
We love you nonetheless.
funny.
You went to public school and a public university,
I
too.
sure did.
I can tell. Back in 17. But this segment is brought to you by blockchain.com. Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks, two icons, one night. Music legends Billy Joel and Steve Nicks will perform at AT&T Stadium on Saturday, April 8th, 2023. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner provider of AT&T Stadium. Go and get yours today. Quickly, side note, I know I went off last week about this whole Taylor Swift and her, all that kind of stuff. I saw the other day someone was buying Taylor Swift tickets. It wasn't SeatGeek, so I'm not going to mention the other brand because this is our official, ticket sponsor. But it was the other people that name start with ticket, and they were charging a service fee to get tickets. I thought it was the price of the ticket because it said 2 tickets. It was like $270. $270 was just a service fee.
Oh my goodness!
To get the tickets.
That's crazy.
That ain't even the cost of the tickets.
Yeah.
Now I don't know Taylor Swift. I don't frequent her music. Nothing against the young woman.
I don't know what they're called. Are they called Swifties or whatever their fans are?
The Swifties, and please, Swifties, don't come after me.
No. They were mad because I guess Ticketmaster crashed. And all these people were in these queues, and the queue would crash on them. You've been in the queue for like an hour, 2 hours, and it just crash on you.
So the system crashed. It makes you wait, and then once you finally get in, you have to pay a $200. And I'm assuming the higher the ticket price is, the more the service fee goes, or just one.
That's it.
That is I don't like anybody. If Jesus was charging us $250 to get to the gates, I'd be like, hey Lord, hey,
service charge.
The Lord, like, hey, one ticket entry, Jess, is gonna be $1,500 for front row seats into heaven, but you gotta pay $250. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take my shot in hell. I'm gonna take my shot.
Don't say
I'm
that.
gonna take my shot. No, I'm playing pastor.
Yeah.
I'm playing pastor. I'm trying to go to heaven. I know. I'm playing pastor. I'm playing. As we get into the Vikings defense, you saw how they went toe-to-toe last week with a lot of people would say Super Bowl favorites, at least one of the Super Bowl favorites coming out of the AFC in the Buffalo Bills.
In Buffalo.
And they turned over the great Josh Allen 3 times? 3 interceptions he had? A couple fumbles?
And fumble on the one.
He had at least 3 turnovers. He had 2 interceptions. Patrick Peterson got him twice, and 3 interceptions and a fumble. So while some of the names may be a little bit older, they're still impactful. And that this defense isn't one of those vaunted defenses. It's not one of those that the monsters of the Midway. It ain't them. It ain't something that you're gonna be like, oh. But day in and day out, game in and game out, week in and week out, they've made significant plays when it was called for them to make significant plays. And this defense starts up front with a guy that we used to see a lot in Green Bay. And now he's came over to Zadarius Smith. And that's going to be one of the matchups that you have to watch in this game because he gets after the quarterback. And he's relentless. And we talked about in the first segment the Cowboys being close to that point where the pressures are beginning to mount up.
Mm-hmm.
And while Patrick Peterson is on the back end and Harrison Smith is on the back end, these guys are opportunistic players. Pat Peterson once was regarded one of the best DBs in the league. He's not that anymore. But if you give him a chance,
throw at him 1 too many times.
You give him a chance.
Yeah.
He's one of those old savvy vets who understands formations, who understands route concepts and depths, and will undercut and will bait you, and he'll do all those little tricky things, and to get you to fall into that mix of, now you see me, now you don't, and it'll be an interception. So, this Vikings defense, Nate, is one of those defenses that
will rise to the occasion.
You can make plays on them.
Yeah. They'll give up the yards.
They'll give up the yards, but don't get greedy. Don't start going to a certain well one too many times. And this is the part, and I don't want to be long-winded, but this is the part of football where being creative, not trickery, being creative and having different concepts and different ways to run your routes come into play when you go against guys who are veterans. Because if you keep lining up in the same thing over and over and over and over again and actually running the same routes over and over and over again, they pick up on that. And it may not, you may beat them in the first quarter. You may get them again in the second quarter. Oh, but when it gets to nut cutting time and it comes time to make a play and you reach back into that same bag again, they go, bingo, gotcha.
And the thing about them is, Donnell Hunter, the Darius Smith, and they got a guy number 98, DJ WONNUM, one on.
Sure, we'll go with one on. Sure. We'll go with that.
Hunter has 6 sacks. Zadarius has 9.5, and DJ has 3. And the thing about it, they'll line up anywhere. They'll line up over your guard. They'll line up over your right and left tackle. They don't care. They'll line up and give you combinations. Both guys, Zadarius and Hunter, on the same side. They'll give you some different looks, and like you say, they'll give up yardage. But I noticed as the game went on with Buffalo, they started making more and more plays. So I agree with you there wholeheartedly, Jesse.
Do we have the line to shut these guys down?
With these guys, you got to keep them honest. Because if they earn the right to rush the passer, they're going to get after it.
You talked about we're giving up more pressures and all that. I mean, I think everybody's been really pleased with the play of our offensive line, maybe because the expectations were pretty low, especially when Tyron went out. Are we just kind of getting ahead of ourselves in some ways and saying, yeah, they're doing better than we expected, but that bar was pretty low and maybe they're not quite as good as they need to be?
The thing, and just another question I want to ask you, with a lot of miscommunication with the route running, is that making Dak hesitant to get rid of the ball real quick? Is he making sure guys open or that? Because the window thing you're talking about, where it's tight, if you throwing the guys when they're coming out of their breaks, a lot of times you can help them be open. How does that fit, Jess?
It's a two-part thing.
Right.
The first part, yes. Right? Anytime a quarterback is getting pressured or hit a lot and then they have the miscommunication, you tend to be a little bit hesitant before you let that ball go, especially if you're throwing anticipatory routes.
Right.
Routes when I get to 1, 2, 3, I'm letting it go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back foot hits, I'm letting it go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back foot, I'm letting it go.
Right.
If there's any hint of I'm not sure, then
wow.
I gotta now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back foot hits. I don't know. I gotta now gather again and find the next option. The second thing is we talked about in the first segment, the lack of separation. They're not getting it. You can't turn on. It's impossible to turn on a game and look at Michael Gallup and tell me that he is a healthy. And when I say healthy, I know that he's healthy back, but he's not a healthy player. Mm-hmm. He's laboring off the line. No one is. You know why we have not seen Michael Gallup streaking down the sideline like we said a year or so ago? Why we have not seen any of those big plays of Michael Gallup? Because he cannot do it. At this point in time right now, he cannot do it. He cannot. No one is afraid of him running by them.
Yeah.
Like before, he was able to take off down the field and get on his horse and be able to challenge you for that 50-50 jump off that he was so good at. Now he can't. He doesn't have that explosion anymore. I'm not saying that
mental or physical?
It's physical. The explosion is physical.
Really?
That's a physical thing. and you can watch it. You can look at him, and it's like I'm trying, but I'm like you can literally see him like when you can see the kind of the hitch in his giddy up. And so now when you're trying to run routes, it's hard to sell a guy that you're going to go by him when they look at you running. They go, he ain't going by me.
Is there ways that they can scheme him open, I guess, to help with that?
Yeah, that ain't Kellen Moore's bag. Like we could stop the thought process of Kellen Moore becoming a scheme guy. Like, yeah, I would love to say, you know what? Hey, we don't have the guys right now that can streak down the field. We do no rub routes. We do no picks. And then the thing is if you try to do them now, they're gonna flag you because the refs have never seen it from this team.
Yeah.
So when you start doing it now, they're gonna look at it and be like, oh. Because by the way, y'all know refs watch film too. They prepare for their teams as well. They go back and they watch their own performances. They also watch teams that they're getting ready to play to kind of pick up tendencies. And we talked about this. It's like the Dennis Rodman effect. It's like the Draymond Green effect. Officials allow Dennis Rodman and Draymond Green to get a lot more barking because they know coming into the game, Draymond Green is going to yell, fuss, and cuss.
Yeah.
So if we got a quick whistle, he's gonna be out the game really soon. But if Steph Curry goes and cusses, they're like, whoa, oh, no, that's a tech. You don't talk like that.
You way out of character.
You way out of character. I got to tech that up. I ain't never seen that before. You acting totally different.
Yeah.
So for the Cowboys, I'm past the stage of Kellen Moore getting into a place where he is consistently creative in the schematic formation of how he runs things, whether that's run game, whether that's pass game. And we'll see kind of a play or two here and there. But overall, we just started running the deep over routes a week ago, 2 weeks ago. The league's been killing it for the last year and a half with speed. So that part is where the Cowboys lack at, is that they don't have the creativity to be able to open those things up for their players.
So
you
don't think number 9 can
That's
do
scary.
a deep over?
Don't know.
They did throw in the ball last game at least.
Yeah, that was a
thing. Didn't get much, but
they tried to pull a Tyreek Hill screenplay. It didn't work. It didn't work too well for him. All right, let's go to our third and final break, and we'll continue to give you more Cowboys offense, Vikings defense, and we're going to prepare you. We're going to get you ready, man, for Cowboys Vikings this Sunday, 3:25.
Be back in 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
There you go. I mean, Crystal, count me down. 17. Y'all stay here with us, man. It's Hanging with the Boys.
3. Be back.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys on this Hump Day Wednesday edition. We're in the SWBC studios. Kurt Daniels, Nate Newton, Jesse Holly. We are hanging with the boys, man, and we're going to give you what you need because we want you to feel us like Braille. Like Braille.
Okay, I got to bring this up. I'm sorry. But we learned during the break that Jesse was in a pie contest this morning.
I was judging pies.
Judging pies.
Yes.
And failed to bring his good friends on Hanging with the Boys any pie.
Were you eating them or just looking at them or tasting them? Give us a story, bro.
All of the above.
Oh, I'm jealous.
You know he was eating them.
You know I eats.
Was you eating it? Stop. Was you, what type pies? What flavors, man?
So they had the first pie was an eggnog pie.
Ooh.
No. It was. And I'm an eggnog fan.
I'm not, so go ahead on.
It literally tastes exactly like eggnog.
Wow.
In like a
his fingers are trembling.
Yeah,
man.
it was so good.
It was good?
It was so good. Then the second one was, what is it called? A Sapolia? What's it called?
Sofapia.
Sofapia cheesecake bar. And it had like the cinnamon type crust on top. Super good. Then it had somebody did a key lime pie. Not a fan of the key lime pie. Then it was, of course, it was your people, Kurt. It was a bunch of my great Caucasian people. So they had the pumpkin pie. They had the pumpkin pie up there. I was like,
it is Thanksgiving. You got to throw some pumpkin pie in
pumpkin
there.
pie. Pumpkin pie to me, pumpkin pie is the white people's version of sweet potato pie.
Okay.
It's like those
they're pretty similar, yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one was a snickerdoodle.
Wow.
Snickerdoodle pie.
What was this for? What was the occasion?
So it was for a company called Share Life. They do my boy Skip. He volunteers down there, and they do a lot in the community, donating and stuff like that. So they had a pie contest that they usually do, and so I came out and I was a judge.
Nice. Celebrity judge.
Celebrity is a stretch, but just judge. Just judge works.
Well, yeah, that's good stuff.
And the cheesecake pie, the cheesecake bar pie, that one.
That was the winner.
Yeah,
that's just so sad how he used to get on Shannon.
Now
I know.
And we haven't got our food yet. We haven't got our stuff from computer because of him. I mean, all of this stuff falls on you, bro. You are the leader. You are the guy.
Boy.
Yeah.
First they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again.
Once you rise to that top spot, that's when the boo birds come out.
You see how my back is finally broken and I have to sit down?
I didn't want to bring those calories to you guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
As
Really
someone, I
appreciate you looking out for our health.
I do. I didn't want to bring those calories to you guys and have you fall off the wagon. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like healthy life. Health is wealth. And so I left it. I left it there for all of our purposes.
If I was that girl that was been waiting on you to call and you was running that to me, that would be one thing. But I ain't that girl. Just stop. Okay. Stop,
So,
man.
Yeah. All right. But y'all didn't want that stuff, man.
No, of course not.
Y'all didn't want that.
Oh, yeah. No
Trust
way.
me, man. Y'all didn't want
Especially
that.
when you said eggnog.
Yes, you didn't want that.
Oh man. Ooh.
What if your eggnog a piece with a touch of other piece? You don't want them commingling together. That's what. See.
Yeah.
You talk me. It was easy to get me.
Kurt's
when
like,
you said
nah,
eggnog.
whatever, bro. Like,
we need some
let me decide
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
right.
Don't talk for me. I do a good. I talk and write for
Hey,
me.
there go Deshaun Watson, man. He returned to practice today.
Welcome to the world, Nate.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I heard 2 days ago that he was coming back today, but I didn't want to see him on TV.
Well, that's going to be a story because he can return to practice and he'll eligible to play in Week 13 computer. If you want a conspiracy theory, you want to talk about conspiracies? Deshaun Watson got suspended, right, for all his transgressions,
right,
and all the stuff that he had to deal with last year. What game do you think that the NFL said, we're gonna bring you back Deshaun Watson for this game? Just take a wild guess what game it was. Wild guess.
It's in Houston. I don't know.
No, of course, against the Texans. You want to talk about? You know what? I believe you, computer. You're right. Troy Vincent is rigged. Troy Vincent said, "We're gonna make some money. We're gonna bring Deshaun Watson back against the Texans, and we're gonna televise that. It's probably gonna be one of our game of the weeks against two bad football teams.
Yep.
But hey, the storyline behind it, it's all that matters. Nate, you got anything else you want to add? Kurt, you got anything else you want to add? For offensive for the Cowboys, defense for the Vikings?
Well, I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead on, sir.
Nah,
we barely get to hear your lovely voice.
No, I didn't really have much. You go ahead.
Yeah, you do have much. Go ahead.
Are you worried? Are you worried about this team facing the Vikings, or is this a game they should? I mean, of course, we thought this last week, but is this a game that they should be able to put up some points?
I just think this. I look like I said last week. I said, you know what? Green Bay defense, nice. Just watching the players, watching their history. I ain't going by just this year. What their history? They have been a pretty good team. That was the Green Bay defense. Their history with the players, Hendricks, as I got that right. Mm-hmm. They got 2 nice linebackers. They got a nice safety in Harrison. You can't mess around with him. And then the two edge rushers or the 2 outside linebackers that can line up in different combinations. They allowed them to do that, and they rose to the occasion in Buffalo. That the Buffalo mob, they call them, or the mafia, whatever they are. They get loud, they get ruckus, and man, it usually been to their favor, but they played through that. They took one they shouldn't have took, man. And our head coach said something last week. We have to learn to win these type of games by any means necessary. We haven't done it yet. They have done it. So us going up there, they ain't gonna be nothing nice, man. Them people gonna be screaming crazy, and we the Cowboys too. Yeah, we them boys, and we finna get. If we ain't count, we gonna get beat like them boys. Yeah.
What do you think?
You know, I think this is a pivotal point of the season for the Cowboys.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And because you hear stuff coming out of the locker room now where guys are getting visibly and vocally frustrated. And we all know winning cures all. But losing could really begin to have this team implode.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point in time of the season and there is no one out there in the universe that you can go and bring in that can be a serious difference maker. Like at this point in time of the year, you are who you are with the guys who you got.
Yeah.
There may be small, very, very small, minute things that you can probably do if someone but there isn't any big wholesale changes happening. You got to figure out what you got to figure out with the guys that you currently have in this locker room. And if you go up there and you lose this game to Minnesota, which is very, very, it's a high possibility. This is an 8-1 football team. They are rolling. They got what is called Kurt Cobain. They call him Kurt Cobain now. He's walking around with the jewelry on. Kurt's actually ripped up. I didn't think he was that ripped up. But they're playing with a level of excitement and enjoyment and fun and belief.
Yeah.
They are believing as a unit that we can go out, especially when you go up to a place like Buffalo and beat what many people deem as a serious Super Bowl contending team. Now you start believing. You start believing as a team we can go and do anything. Yes.
I agree with you 100% because all before that, backup quarterback, backup this, and they're like, okay, this ain't a backup. I mean, players listen to that. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Remember, if you check their record, they're beating a couple of backup quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Bad quarterbacks. This Minnesota team, and they've found some weird ways to win games, but they've won them. And now you go up. I'm talking about. It was all your faith was sealed. Coming out on the one, you turned everything around and took this thing to overtime. These kids are believing. I'm with you. I'm just agreeing with what you're saying, just adding on to what you're saying.
And
they are believing, man.
They are believing in one another. They're believing in their coaching. They're believing in their scheme. All of that stuff. And so you have to go up into a place. And we've all. Have you been to Minnesota?
I have not.
Man, you hear that horn or the Harley Davidson?
That place. That's one of those underrated places. When they want to get rocking, that place can get loud.
Really?
In the old stadium. And I've been in both of them. I've been in the old and the new. And both of those places get lit. They got
a horn about long as this room. They got a horn about long as this room.
Going,
yeah.
I'm telling you, when they blow that horn and right before the game, they bring out the loudest Harley Davidson on this Viking on the Harley Davidson. You ever seen that?
It gets loud.
It gets loud, man.
And so, are the Vikings beatable? Absolutely, they are. But you got to have you have to have a bunch of guys on the Cowboys side that are committed
to doing their
job,
to
doing it the way that they're supposed to be doing it, and get out of this whole freestyle thing. You need those hymns on your team, offensively and defensively, to be hymns.
But you know what? This is what I don't like to hear. And I didn't want to bring it up, but it is so detrimental, and I hope somebody can get to these kids. When you lose one game and hear the little whispers that we're hearing.
But let me stop you right there. See, when you lose one game and you begin to hear these whispers, it means that this has been going on for a while, and it finally
you're going right down the road.
Sorry.
I
didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Winning was covering it up.
Right.
I'm glad you said it. Jesse said it. Nate just said thank you.
I didn't want to steal. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
That was great.
Yeah.
Bruh, you said it, man. Yeah, and it ain't taking my thunder. It's just I've been since you said it, I've been like, wow, if these guys been saying that now after one loss, what has they been saying for the last 3 weeks?
The same thing. Stop freestyling. Be in your gap. Do your job. Read coverages right. Be where you're supposed to be. I was about to say a word. Don't dink the quarterback. I was about to say something else.
Right.
Don't dink the quarterback. Hey, let's do our job. Let's be accountable. Let's show up.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of funny though that this team was 6-2, which at the break that's where people thought they'd probably be. They had a nice bye, a good rest, and then a play here, a play there, and now we're looking at them in a totally different light.
I'm looking at them in the same light. I'm looking at them in the same light because if you just take away, and I hate to say it because it sounds funny, but if you take away about 75 of those yards, you will be all right. I'm talking about on the run game. Mm-hmm. Around 125, make them carry it a lot, you could be all right. Get your third downs right. At least be 48% on third downs. Get another 2 minutes on your deal and be 30 minutes so your defense not – we're not far away. It's just the way I feel. But do we have the players?
But it's the same thing we've been saying all year long. Offensively and defensively, you're putting your defense in a situation where they have to be perfect.
Right.
And they're not. And teams have now – this is the second half of the year.
Right.
Your tendencies are out there. It's not one or two games where people still feel like, all right, no. Who Kellen Moore is, who Dan Quinn is, at the core is on tape. And that part is what people don't game plan all the extra stuff. Who are they at the core?
Right.
That's how we game plan, and anything else after that we adjust to. But
we rally to it.
But we know they're going to be this and do this, especially when the games are tight. And so we go off that and we adjust to everything else. And so you are who you are. The Cowboys need and their players need to show up for this game.
We used to give them to Thanksgiving, Jess.
You used to give them to Thanksgiving. And that'll do it for our show today. Tomorrow we'll do Cowboys defense, Vikings offense. Ooh, another set of boogeyman problems that you got to deal with that offense. Tomorrow we'll break that down.
7 seconds.
7 seconds we got to go. He is Nate Newton, my guy. That's Kurt Daniels, my dude.
3 seconds.
Chris is in the back counting us down from 13 seconds. Audio Jazz, Brother Willie, get us up and popping. And to you, thank you all for joining us and tuning in.
And hope you felt us.
Just being a part of this, man. Y'all family with us, man. We feel y'all, so I hope you feel us. I am Jesse Holly. This is Hanging with the Boys. See you guys tomorrow. We out.
Jesse said that, not Nate.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!